Was she really dead? Or is her dad just that worried about her that he just goes ahead and runs to Jesus and just assumes that that's what's going to happen? So that later on, as Jesus gets to that place, she's dead. And I don't know, it's weird to me. I told the youth, I was like, I don't know, when I die, I don't want a bunch of flute players and all this stuff at my house. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be excited. Because when I die, I know where I'm going. And I can't wait to get there. But I don't know what y'all said, you're mourning me. But I probably don't want flute players playing in my house around my bed or something either. And all these crowds of people. But what it was the ritual when somebody died that these people would gather and they would play music and all these crowds would come. So the people were saying that she was dead. The influence around her determined her situation. Because the people around her said that she was dead. Because they were there and they were saying, because of the flute playing and all the crowds of people that come to her house, they were saying, she is dead.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Even her father, when he went and got Jesus, and Jesus stepped in, and there's no more powerful of an influence than the influence of the Father, our Father.
All right, sir.
And Jesus stepped in a moment, and he tells him to leave. He says, go away, this girl's not dead, but asleep. And they laughed because they're up there playing their flutes and all these crowds of people are gathered around and they're saying, she is dead. We've already checked her pulse. There's no pulse. She's dead. We're playing the flutes. We're getting ready to come in the hearse, drive the hearse up there. Of course, right in that hearse back in. Drive the hearse up there, load her up in the casket and take her off. And Jesus says, hold up. My influence, the influence of this place has changed when I walked in. He says, the influence of this situation has changed when I walked in this place. Just because you said that she is dead. Just because it's been said that she's not living anymore. Just because it says that she doesn't have breath. I have walked into this room and I've changed the situation. I've changed the circumstance of this young girl. And they laughed and mocked Jesus as they left. And it wasn't one of those things where there was some strong, powerful prayer. Jesus had to get knelt down and pray.
All right.
And it didn't say that he called out to the Father for hours upon hours or even days upon days. It says he walked straight over to the bed and he grabbed her hand and immediately she got up.
Hallelujah.
That's how powerful the influence of God is in a situation. That's how much influence that Jesus has in a situation in our lives. In these young men's lives nowadays. I shared last night a little bit before my brother spoke. I can't not speak. I got it from Corey. Every time there's a service, if there's a chance I get the mic, I'm going to get the mic.
Hallelujah.
So, as I shared a little bit during worship last night, I was telling them about the influence around this place now. I've seen this picture and it said, as you begin to water down the meaning of sin, you begin to water down the sacrifice that he made. And I explained to these kids last night, as you begin to water down sin and you begin to say, well, this might be okay if I just do this, or this is okay now because they've passed this law to legalize it, or this is okay now because of this certain situation. As they begin to water down sin, they begin to say, well, maybe those lashes that Jesus took weren't really that bad.
Come on.
You know, maybe those 39 stripes that he took on his back, maybe they really didn't hit him that hard.
All right, sir.
You know, all the beatings that they took, maybe they really weren't hitting him that hard. You know, when they stuck the crown of thorns on his head, maybe it was just a small rose bush and the thorns weren't real long and they just kind of set it on his head real soft.
All right, sir.
Maybe when they drove those nails in, maybe they didn't even put them in his hands. Maybe they just drove them in the wood and he held on to them.
All right, sir.
No.
No.
That's not what happened.
No.
You can water down sin all you want to.
That's right.
Kids in this generation can water down sin all they want to. But Jesus paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes,
And
he
he went
did.
through the ultimate amount of pain and punishment. It was the worst thing that any man has ever gone through.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
So that
Tell it.
we as a generation could go spend eternity with him.
Yes, Lord.
Amen.
It doesn't matter how
Thank you,
much we
Lord.
water down that sin.
Thank you, Jesus.
It doesn't matter how many excuses we make.
Praise you.
Oh, Jesus.
It doesn't matter.
My God, my God.
Because Jesus died on the cross.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
And we believe that tonight.
Yes, Lord.
I was telling these kids that were here, I was like, you guys believe that.
Yes, Lord.
You guys believe and understand the love that God has for you. You understand. And because you understand,
Yes, Lord.
you stand here tonight.
Right.
Because you understand in this place, because you understand the love that God has and the sacrifice that He made, you stand here
Yes,
tonight.
Lord. Yes, Lord.
But I explained to them those kids that were here, as Pastor Corey said, that our youth group was 30 to 40 and even 50 at times. And we dropped to only a couple when we started praying.
My God, my God.
I said, those kids,
Yes, Lord.
those other 38 kids, or 48 kids,
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I said, they don't truly understand the love and the sacrifice that Jesus made.
Hallelujah.
Because I said, if they truly understood the love, and they truly understood the sacrifice and the pain that Jesus went through when He died on the cross,